adrenaline pumping, hearts racing, the thrill of winning. And it all happens right here. Twin Spires, from the team behind the Kentucky Derby and the destination for horse racing wagering from around the globe. From beginner to expert, Twin Spires is betting made fun and easy. We're offering up to $100 in bonus funds for new players, as well as daily offers and promotions for all our players. Twin Spires, racing into your home. Download the app now. See site for details. Void where prohibited. Please wager responsibly.
And they turn for home in the Preakness, and Big Brown has seized the lead, and he is pulling away. Big Brown's doing it again. He is disappearing from the field. He's in front by 5. And then it's Race Car Rhapsody, and on the outside, Macho again, and just cruising into the line. Kent DeSorbo looked in the rearview mirror, nobody was there. He waltzes home to win the Preakness. No one's ever been close to Big Brown.
That was Big Brown in the 2008 Preakness. Rider Kent DeSormo said he is a freak of a horse. It was just the easiest win ever. He was the lowest price winner since Spectacular Bid in 1979.
Yeah, you know, when I watched this race, I thought for sure we were going to see a Triple Crown winner. He didn't show up at the Belmont for whatever reason, but man, his Derby and especially that Preakness, you'll never forget that effort.
At the time, he was just one of 4 unbeaten horses to win the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. It certainly looked like going into that Belmont Stakes, like he might be the horse to do it as we bring in Andy Serling. Andy, your thoughts on Big Brown?
Well, he didn't show up in the Belmont because he had bad feet, and I think Rick Dutcher did an amazing job with him, keeping him together, frankly, given how bad his feet were. And, you know, Kent DeSormo taking a lot of unnecessary grief for that ride. He was protecting the horse, and that's the most important thing that anyone can do. The reality of Big Brown, I was talking with a friend earlier about this, is, you know, we did a Twitter poll on the horses that won the Preakness on this day, and he was one of them against some greats like Silver Charm and California Chrome, as well as Funny Side. He could have been as talented, if not more talented, than all of those horses. Now, obviously, he didn't accomplish nearly as much as those horses did, but he just didn't have a chance to do it. He had those feet issues, and he was retired after his 3-year-old year. And those other horses, fortunately, they ran for much, much longer, and they accomplished some great things. But Big Brown, the other thing about Big Brown that the others can't say, he was even a better turf horse. But he's one of those rare horses that was proficient on both dirt and turf. And that's so unusual in horses. Honestly, Barbaro is one of the few I could remember that was a sensational runner on both surfaces. You know, we saw horses like Lava Man do it. John Henry could do it. But Big Brown was a great talent. Now, on to more important things. We need a winner. So let's take a look at my pick 4 ticket. I'm going to spread in the first couple of races. I have no knocks on the favorites, the 7 and 9. They are the horses to beat. But I'm going to use 1, 3, 6, 7, 9 to start out in the 8th race. Yeah, Toledo's the horse to beat in race 9. I don't trust him. Did Art Collector freak on a wet track? I don't know. I'm going to use 3, 8, 9, 10, even including my man Flintstone. When I was a little kid, I thought I was Fred Flintstone. As I got older, I became Fred Flintstone. Race number 10, I'm using 4-wheel drive the 1 and the 5 race driver. And we'll close it out with 2, 7, 10. I think Kowalski has a real chance to beat Chasing Anna, the 10. And my long shot weird throw-in is the 7 Whiskey Man, a $60 play. 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, 3, 8, 9, 10, 1, 5 with 2, 7, 10. Best of luck. It looks like a fun sequence of races closing out this weekend of great racing at Churchill.
To our booth back in New York, please save that segment. We're going to play this many, many times over the course of 2020. Andy Serling explained. In just a couple of sentences right there.
Fred Flintstone.
I see it now.
I do too. The resemblance.
Andy, I never knew.
You know, when I was a little kid, a friend of my family's convinced me that I was Fred Flintstone, and I got lost in the market. And my please report to Lost and Found, and that story has stayed with me forever. And I have an original Fred Flintstone drawing. Yabba dabba doo to you, Andrew.
We're going to have so much fun with this all summer long. I can't wait. 15 to 1 right now as we kick off our post-parade. Queen of Catnip Hill. Big long shot.
Blinkers are coming off on this long shot, and CJ Hernandez is aboard. I want to know who Barney is in his life.
I do too. 8-1 right now for the Chad Summers runner Wicked title.
Moving good out there on the racetrack right now, dropping in class after running grade 2 and a stakes race at Aqueduct last
Still
time
can't
out.
believe Tom Amos took a between the hedges runner. Of course, Tom, an LSU grad.
Yeah, Tom dropping this one in for a tag for Joe Politi today, and should have a say-so in the finish.
Mama Don't Preach, 15-1, comes in off a win on dirt.
Yeah, she's only run 2 times, light on experience, but a win is a win.
Only been on turf so far, the 5-City Fun.
Yeah, trying that new surface after running 5th, being beaten 3rd. 3 lengths last time, taking a move up in class as well. Tough task.
Compelling Smile, we see next to the 6-1, first time out at Emerald Downs.
Yeah, to keep an eye on this one at a decent price for trainer Mike Puich. He does a great job. Filly was 5th last time out at Oaklawn Park.
Blinkers is the 7. Joelle Rosario will look to go back-to-back.
Looking to go back-to-back. She was 3rd, beating 7.5 lengths last time out for trainer John Ortiz.
33-1 next door in the 8. That's Letters to Bell and an equipment change. Blinkers on.
Yeah, getting blinkers on, trying to get her back focused. She showed speed the time before. Hasn't shown any run the last 2 races at all.
And usually, though, very quick. Didn't show any of that speed last time out. John Court will be in the irons. The 9, Raggedy Annie for Hall of Famer, one of the greats, Dwayne Lucas.
Yeah, she's taken a big drop in class. This is the first time she's been offered up for the $50,000 sale. She's 1 for 1 at Churchill Downs. A lot of things to like here on Raggedy Andy, and the bettors think so too.
Long shot who actually has some form at this condition, the 10, Templuna.
Yeah, she ran on the synthetic at Turfway Park last time out. That was a route of ground. She's shortening up to 7 furlongs today, 7/8 of a mile. So trying something a little different with her.
And on the outside, a filly coming in off a win last time out. She broke her maiden. She did it on synthetic. Don't Mind Me.
Yeah, she really hadn't shown any run on the dirt. She had run on the dirt several times, 4 times to be specific. She was 2nd, 1 time at Ellis Park, but she got her one and only win on the synthetic at Turfway Park.
All right, time now for the Twin Spires Market Mover, where we identify the horse attracting the most support in the money late in the betting. Let's go to Jonathan Kinchin.
Wolfie, the Twin Spires Market Mover is the 7 right here, Blinkers. This horse is 5-2 on the board. This horse will go off favored. If you look at the multi-race Will Pays, this horse is going to end up being the favorite in this spot. And it makes a lot of sense. It was my top pick in here. Although you remember my pick 5, I spread all over the place here. I think Blinkers will end up being favored. His performances at Oaklawn, I think, are interesting. Or her, excuse me. She ran going the 6 furlongs, but this is now going to be going 7 furlongs. At Oaklawn Park, they don't have 7 furlongs. They don't have 7 furlong races. So I think the ability to be able to allow her to run a little bit longer, I think, plays right into her hand. I also think it's important to note that the Oaklawn Park meet was extremely competitive. It was one of the only shows in town right in the heart of the pandemic and everything being shut down. And I think that meet was very, very competitive. And I think Blinkers now shows up here for the $50,000 tag. Makes a ton of sense for me. I do have one question, though. The horse didn't start the career with blinkers. That's a very dangerous name if the horse wasn't going to wear blinkers, although he's got them on now. She's got them on now.
Yeah, how do you have a filly named Blinkers without wearing blinkers? But all is resolved. She's had them on for the last several starts, including a trip to the winner's circle. So we'll let that one go. If you want to bet the Market Mover, or if you like any other runner in this race, you can sign up for Twin Spires. $100 new player bonus. To sign up, go to twinspires.com or download the Twin Spires app. Opt in. Use the promo code GET100 to start your $100 new player bonus right now. We're going to check in now with Maggie Wolfendale. Maggie, get your thoughts here on this 8th from Churchill coming up.
And look, I think the 9 in here, that's Raggedy Annie. She's going to be tough, and she's one of the favorites, and she looks great in the flesh. But a horse that I was interested in that Gary mentioned is number 6, Compelling Smile, as she'll turn back in distance from some competitive races out there at Oaklawn Park. And watching her as she moves to the 7 furlongs, she is sharp. She was sharp in the paddock. She's sharp out on the racetrack as well. So that's always something you want to see with a horse who is getting less ground to cover and that they're in in the bridle. They're ready to go. And overall, I liked what I saw from this daughter of Constitution. And boy, Constitutions are so effective. Pretty much doing anything on the dirt, especially. But I just think that 7 furlongs will be the sweet spot for her. I also move on to the horse who I think just looked best, and that is the Tom Amoss trainee, number 3, Between the Hedges. Now, granted, and I'm not just saying this because he's often part of our crew, but Tom's horses do tend to look very good, but I just love the energy that this filly was exuding. I mean, she framed herself up. She got well underneath herself, really nicely on the bridle, and she'll be tough if she breaks today. She didn't break well last time. I don't know why. She just kind of stood there. She was towards the inside of that big field of 11 horses. So if she breaks today, which she's given me every look as though she will because she's so sharp, I think she'll be right there as the horse that she ran against 2 back. Pretty nice horse, pretty nice filly. She ran an 81 in her next start, next time out winner. As Andy, do you like our good friend Tom's horse here?
Maggie, you've already sucked up enough to Tom. You don't even say he's your good friend. Really, that was almost embarrassing. I'll tell you what. If James Graham gives this horse a similar ride to the ride he gave Tom's horse a little earlier today, I think he'll jump off the horse and run into the stable area to get away from Tom. So he's under the gun here. You know, I do like him, Maggie. I used him. He's also got that little every other pattern, right? So we'll see if he can bounce back from his last race, because his race 2 back and the race Tom claimed him out of, he ran well. Thought I'd talk about a couple other horses, one of whom you mentioned. I thought the 1 Queen of Catnip Hill, I think we could all agree it's not going to take a Herculean effort to win this race. So I do think you want to take a look at some long shots like Queen of Catnip Hill. And, you know, this is the first start on a dry dirt track for this trainer, Max Schurer, who has a terrific record this year. I see he's 9 for 33. And I just thought maybe, you know, you go back and his dirt races are clearly better than his synthetic and turf races, and maybe getting back to dirt will give him a chance. He's a price. And Maggie mentioned the 6 Compelling Smile. I think this horse cutting back in distance as she does is dangerous as well and could be fast enough. Just some horses at better prices. No argument against Blinkers and Raggedy Annie, but I think these other horses have a chance at least to win it, because there's just nobody in here that seems to tower over the field, and I think we probably all somewhat agree on that.
Yeah, Queen of Catnip Hill, she was competitive against Swiss Skydiver, who's become a standout 3-year-old filly for Kenny McPeak.
Yeah, and I think that he was talking about the ride on Candy Store with James Graham. Got stopped cold going into the turn. Looked like he ran into a roadblock. So things happen, holes close, and when you've got that momentum, it's not a good thing.
Well, Raggedy Annie, the morning line favorite, that is the 9. Tom Amoss trying to win with Between the Hedges, the 3. You're watching the Home for Racing from Churchill Downs here on Fox Sports. Travis Stone with the call, race 8 from Churchill Downs.
Racing for the lead. Don't Mind Me on the far outside, racing up into second. Also showing speed is Mama Don't Preach. Between the Hedges is down inside, but they're all chasing Letters to Bell, who whips up the backstretch on a 2.5 length lead. Mama Don't Preach up into a clear second now. Don't Mind Me on the outside is racing in third. Between the Hedges down inside fourth. Blinkers is hard held back in fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Wicked Title comes away mid-pack, running along in sixth. Queen of Catnip Hill is seventh. Raggedy Annie asked to go now eighth. Compelling Smiles behind them in ninth. A bit tight there for the run of the far turn. 9 lengths back from there to Templuna, and even farther back is City Fun, strung out field. 22 and 2 for the quarter. Letters to Bell at 47-1 is clear by 3 lengths with 2.5 furlongs to go. Wicked Title finds a seam and comes on through. Blinkers comes wide. Raggedy Annie's putting in a bid. Between the Hedges is down inside, trying to muster up a bid. Compelling Smile swings outside. Letters to Bell is still in front. The lead's down to 2. Blinkers is bearing down. Compelling Smiles closing still. 1 furlong to go. Letters to Bell's lost a lead. It's now Blinkers, but Compelling Smiles finishing full of run. And Compelling Smile goes right on by and kicks clear to the wire. The 3-length winner in the end. Blinkers was second. Letters to Bell was third. Wicked Title was fourth.
Tyler Bays for Michael Buich. Compelling Smile picks up his 2nd win of her career.
And congratulations to my good friend, trainer Michael Buich, Giddy Up Go Stable, and Dr. Mark DiDomenico. Nice to see them. First runner he's had there at this meet, Michael Buich. horse has been stable at Oaklawn Park, and this filly finished up running.
I want to say Blind Luck, Mark DiDomenico?
Yeah, it's Blind Luck. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great filly back in the day.
Pegasus Thoroughbred Training Center up in Redmond, Washington. Beautiful, spectacular place. There's a lot of hard work up there, rehabbing horses, and great training center.
Compelling Smile. Well, for a moment, it looked like Joel Rosario was going to do it again on the 7 blinkers, but then Compelling Smile had a little more run late.
Yeah, what about the big long shot? Letters to Bell hanging on for third at a huge price.
Yeah, John Court with an interesting angle here, trying to just put on a full-on assault on this field early on and jump out to a big lead, and nearly pulled it off for a while anyway. Winds up third in the end, gets a piece of the money, 6, 7, 8, 2. Top 4 finishers.
Yeah, you're talking about John Court. He'll give you his money's worth. I'll tell you that for sure. And you get some prices with him. Very good rider. Spent some time out on Southern California circuit and did well. Trainer Doug O'Neill back in his home state of Kentucky. And he doesn't get a lot of good opportunities. When he does, get a horse out of the gate as good as anybody in the business and finish as strong as anybody in the business. But that's the Washington connections right there. Tyler Bay's the rider. Mike Puich, Dr. DiDomenico.
6 to 1, or I should say 8 to 1 on the 6 here. Compelling Smile, so another price, 8 to 1 in this late pick 5 sequence.
Jonathan, thank you. We're still live.
Still alive and still a long way to go, but in a good place right now with a couple of numbers. Andy Serling and his pick 4 alive also. So our handicappers living up to their end of the bargain to this point, with still a lot to come, including undefeated Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint winner 4-wheel drive in action in our 10th race. We're going to step aside for a short timeout. We'll be back, more coming up, including a look ahead to Stephen Foster Preview Day and Owen Dale and Mr. Money.
Since 1913, the Petaluma Creamery has believed that the best dairy products come from happy cows. It's why owner Larry Peter insists that every cow we milk is born and raised naturally to produce the finest non-GMO organic cheese and butter, like our delicious Spring Hill cheese, produced and shipped from here in California to anywhere you are. Visit springhillcheese.com and use promo code 10OFF to get $10 off your first order and enter to win free cheese for a year. Petaluma Creamery, the best dairy comes from the happiest cows.
Coming on strong.
Minute to stardom. On top, coming down to the final 16th, opening up a 2-length lead.
Feel my love for you.
Wild About Star, shining big here in Berry 1.
Oh, why did I wrong?
Testing 1, 2. The Star Guitar filly leads Champagne Diva close to home. It's testing 1, 2.
Feel my love for you. Coming on strong.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com.
America's Day at the Races sponsored Petaluma Creamery. They're the makers of Spring Hill cheese, offering a wide variety of 100% organic, non-GMO cheeses and delicious butter as well. Go to springhillcheese.com. Get $10 off your first order with the code 10OFF, TENOFF. That's springhillcheese.com. All of us here on the staff who've received it have already been converted. We're huge fans. It's great stuff.
The pepper jack, it's nice cheese. I'm a fan.
Take advantage. Back at Churchill Downs in the 8th. Start of the late pick 4. Compelling smile with a win. Tyler Bayes aboard.
And this is one of the great things about this meet, this young meet right now, just after 2 days. These horses are coming from everywhere. You're getting good value. If you have any angles, if you like somebody, if you like a horse, that's somebody to root for. It's nice to see them in the winner's circle. And I was rooting for these guys, and I like the price.
So $18.60. Look at that $2 double. Rosario in the last. Tyler Bayes here in the 8th. $278 to put those two together.
And they're huge. Pick 3, pick 4 paid $2,768. Not too bad.
Ooh. Early pick 5. Monstrous as well. Hopefully you played JK's ticket. You are still alive. Jonathan's still doing well with his pick 5. Our programming, of course, of live coverage from Churchill Downs, brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Well, of course, Claiborne, their homebred Blame. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic, one of the greats of all time, when he held off Zenyatta back in 2010. That was in their 100-year anniversary as a breeding operation and farm. The Blame Stakes we're going to see on Stephen Foster Preview Weekend, and this is a look at the group that's going to line up.
And Owen Dell, the Clark Handicap last year, strong performance against probably best older handicap horse in the country, Tom's Tat. In this actual race here, Owendale came from way back in muddy racetrack, getting a lot of debris kicked in his face. But look at the traffic he gets in and gets out of. Not an easy trip for him. Comes late with a relentless run, happens to get up and run second. He was no match for the winner this night, but his come-from-behind style, that's the way he likes to run, and he's brave, and he finished strong on this night. So looking forward to seeing Owendale back in action in the Blame Stakes.
Yeah, he likes to do his running, as you can see there, from well off the pace. Wound up second in that Clark to a horse who's just become a juggernaut in Tom's D'Etat. But he's going to be very interesting next weekend. Let's bring in Maggie Wolfendale right now. Maggie, global campaign, 4-year-old son of Curlin for Stanley Huff. Had a pretty good start to his 2020 campaign.
That he did, Greg, as he came back in what was a fairly loaded Gulfstream Park allowance race. There's some nice horses in there, and he made short work of them, especially going a distance that might be slightly on the shorter side with him at the 7 furlongs. He earned a 98 by our speed figure, and it looks as though he's taken that nice progression forward from 3 to 4. And Stanley Huff, his trainer, has done a superb job of keeping this horse together, getting back to the racetrack, because he has had a multitude of feet issues, quarter cracks, so he hasn't been the easiest horse to hold together physically. I also think, getting back to the Blame Stakes, that a 1-turn mile might be ideal for him. If you look, a lot of his better races are at 1 turn, including the 1-turn mile and an 1/8 in the Peter Pan last year for Global Campaign. I'm looking forward to this campaign for this 4-year-old son of Curlin, Greg.
Yeah, as Maggie mentioned, and then connections, they've had to be patient with this horse. We'll see if he can stay healthy and have a strong 2020. Never hurts to have a horse for course. And Jonathan Kinchin, Mr. Money, might be that horse as we look ahead to next weekend.
Yeah, I think you're right, Wolfie. And in fact, if you remember, we saw By Standards a few weeks ago run extremely well in the Oaklawn Handicap. At one point last year, Mr. Money was the better of that stable, with Mr. Money having a really big middle of the year as a 3-year-old. He kind of started off a little bit slow, but came on strong. I love Mr. Money in this spot. I think Mr. Money is going to have a really big year. It's going to be a lot of fun for Brett Calhoun to have Mr. Money and By My Standards in this handicap division. I think Mr. Money's going to run well. You can forgive his last performance. It was over a muddy racetrack, off of a long layoff. He ran into a horse like Tom's d'Etat. I'll just take a nice little pencil or pen and draw a line through that, pretend it never happened, and look forward to him to run some of his races that he ran last year as a 3-year-old.
And, of course, we saw him make his comeback as a 4-year-old Mr. Money on this show. That was in the Oaklawn Mile. He was 6th in that race, only beat a length, though, to Tom's d'Etat. And he could have a very big 2020 campaign ahead of him as well. But as you mentioned, Brett Calhoun looks like he is loaded in the handicap division. That runner and the very talented By My Standards as well. Tremendous weekend coming up next weekend from Churchill Downs. And, of course, Fox Sports, the home for racing from Churchill Downs. We'll have it all for you. Look at this lineup. The Matt Winn, that is a Kentucky Derby prep race now. 50 points will go to the winner of that race to get into the starting gate for the Derby. We'll have the Blame, the Shawnee, the War Chant, and the Tepin. And in the Shawnee, Andy Serling, we could see the return of Dunbar Road, our Alabama winner from last year for trainer Chad Brown.
Yeah, I actually asked Chad Brown yesterday, and he did say that she is, in fact, planning to run there. So I'm glad to see her come back. You know, she did not run well at Churchill Downs in her last start at the Breeders' Cup. That was at Churchill Downs, wasn't it? I can't barely remember, but seems like so long ago. But she was very, very good as a 3-year-old. In her prior start before that Breeders' Cup race, she probably should have won the Spinster, and it makes sort of an ill-advised move going down to the rail, which really may not have been the place to be at Keeneland that day. She certainly ran well, winning in a day I'm sure we all remember at Saratoga. It got very sloppy late that day at Saratoga. And you know, sometimes when it rains and you have the favorite, you don't like it, right? You have the favorite, you want the conditions to be ideal, but it didn't matter for Dunbar Road, who was very impressive in winning. And she really stepped forth as one of the top members of the 3-year-old division. But she's got to take that step forward, because I'll tell you, these older filly and mares, it's a tough, salty group. But it'll be nice to see Dunbar Road get started as a 4-year-old. And if she takes a step forward, and remember, Midnight Bisou was a very good 3-year-old, but she was really a real cut below Monomoy Girl, but she stepped up significantly last year, so maybe Dunbar Road can take that big step forward. We'll start to find out next weekend, and we'll find out right in our show.
Yeah, she was brilliant in that sloppy track, and that was just an absolute downpour storm on Alabama Day at Saratoga. It happened to be, Andy, a day that I still wind up deciding that I needed to venture in town. Get a little walk in, but that was not a bright idea on my part. But Dunbar Road's performance was scintillating on that afternoon. So she will make her 4-year-old return to the races for trainer Chad Brown, owned by Peter Brandt. That is in the Shawnee, part of a star-studded lineup of stakes action. On Stephen Foster Preview Day, we'll have it for you right here on Fox Sports. We're going to take a break in the action. Much more coming up. We'll get to the 9th race from Churchill Downs when we return, approaching the 14-minute mark to post. And we'll talk about a Derby winner approaching a milestone next.
He's always been a beautiful moving horse. Got a great attitude, real simple to be around. And, you know, and he's done everything we've asked him. You know, he walks like he's on wheels. He takes that with him to the racetrack. And, you know, when you breeze him, he doesn't move his legs quicker. He just extends his stride. I mean, he looks like a horse that's got speed, but he might carry it a little bit too. And that's the thing about him. He's an athlete.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Adrenaline pumping, hearts racing, the thrill of winning. And it all happens right here. Twin Spires, from the team behind the Kentucky Derby and the destination for horse racing wagering from around the globe. From beginner to expert, Twin Spires is betting made fun and easy. We're offering up to $100 in bonus funds for new players, as well as daily offers and promotions for all our players. Twin Spires, racing into your home. Download the app now. See site for details. Void where prohibited. Please wager responsibly.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms has sired over 70% winners from starters. His top runners include multiple stakes winner and Grade 3 victor Recruiting Ready, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Taylor Spirit, and juvenile stakes winner South Bend. In the Pennsylvania Derby, Algorithms notched his first Grade 1 winner with a thrilling victory by Matt Wizard. In the ring, his juveniles sold up to $275,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on America's Day at the Races here on Fox Sports 1. Thank you for joining us on opening weekend coverage from Churchill Downs. You can get signed up and started and play along with NYRA Bets. Get a $20 free play. You enter the code BET20 at sign up. Go to NYRABets.com, enter that code BET20 and $20 instantly. Put into your account within minutes to bet any race on our show this afternoon. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at NYRABets.com/bet20. Program, of course, brought to you in part also by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. It was likely the most agonizing 20 minutes in racing history. A Kentucky Derby hanging in the balance and the unthinkable possibly going to happen. A disqualification on racing's biggest stage that would give a Hall of Fame trainer the one thing missing on his resume.
It is Country House on the outside. Maximum security. Country House 1-2 down to the line. Maximum security wins the Kentucky Derby.
You know, they hung the inquiry up, and the more I watched it, the more I felt like there was probably a legitimate reason for a potential disqualification, and trying not to get too excited about it, you know, because you never know which way it's going to go. They looked and looked and looked, and I think at the end of the day, there was a reason, you know, and a basis for taking the number down.
So for the first time in the history of the Kentucky Derby, the horse that crossed the line first has been disqualified.
You know, we just happened to be in the right place at the right time. It was really a little bit surreal. You can go a good while without having a winner sometimes, and you take the win, you're excited for your crew, you're excited for the owners, and then tomorrow, we got to start all over again.
Well, I think everyone who loves this game and watches this game remembers exactly where they were when that moment happened. It was surreal.
I remember for sure where I was, and I'll tell you what, I've been in the situation on both sides of it in big races, in multi-million-dollar races, Breeders' Cup and stuff. It's not fun waiting out there either way. It's tough enough waiting for a photo to come through sometimes, let alone a 22-minute decision on the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Derby.
It was unbelievable. It resulted in a disqualification, of course, of Maximum Security and a win for the Hall of Famer right there, Bill Mott, who's closing in on 5,000 career victories. Very, very few in the sport have ever accomplished that, and Bill Mott on the cusp of getting there as we check in now with Andy Serling as we approach the 10-minute mark to post here in race number 9. Bill Mott getting closer and closer, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if somebody said he was near 7,000 wins. You know, when you think about Bill's career, it's remarkable. You know, in 1987, I thought he trained theatrical to a horse of the year, and they ended up giving it to Ferdinand. Not that he didn't deserve it, but I really thought that a more deserving winner was theatrical. I mean, Mott has been winning at the highest level for most of my lifetime. It's pretty remarkable, and I'm very old, as you know. He's just a great trainer who does a sensational job, and his horses deliver. And he's a fun guy to talk to, an entertaining guy to be around as well. He always played Lafitte, and I ran into, remember when we were down at Oaklawn, in fact, last year. Now, on to the more prescient situation. Toledo is the horse to beat in here, and I'm kind of rooting for him just for Jonathan, because he's got him alive, and his pick 5 is his single, and he got 2 big prices home in the first 2 legs, so that would be really cool. And we are looking at the Mott horse near Acre, who I think is in a little bit tough, but he's a little bit of a price if you like him. I thought Art Collector is an important horse to talk about, because if he runs back to his last race, he's going to win this race. But where did it come from? And I think it's realistic to suggest that he just freaked on a wet track. Now, he's disqualified from purse money. I know that his trainer for that race, Joe Sharp, had some very good numbers. I mean, I've had a number of disqualifications from purse money. But I did notice the trainer has him now, Thomas Drury. He's got sensational numbers off of trainer changes. On trainer switch in the dirt, he's 8 for 21 with a high ROI. And he's done well at Churchill with a couple of winners. So maybe it wasn't the mud. We'll find out today. But his last race was good, but the eternal question, was it the surface? Because it certainly seemed to come out of nowhere, though he did start out running pretty well on the turf earlier in his career.
And keep in mind, we were getting some rain, some pretty heavy rain, actually, earlier on in the day. We've not moved from fast and firm, so the main track has stayed fast.
Yes, it has, and I was surprised that Andy didn't focus on my man Flintstone. I give him a shot in here. Yabba dabba do.
I know, after that story, how do you not back the 3? Andy Serling, 12-1. Said he was Fred Flintstone back in the day, the ultimate hunch play for Andy Serling. Oh, our post break here coming up. There is my man Flintstone making his way onto the track. We'll see him in a moment. We start off with the remaining half of the entry. The 1 Olsen breaks in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he's a big price, and don't forget Keith DeSormo starting off the meet very well with the winner yesterday and a big second place finisher earlier today at a price.
Here's the 2 Juggernaut. This is the Keith DeSormo runner.
I'm sorry, I missed the 1 horse because there was originally an entry in here. So yeah, Juggernaut. Keith DeSormo, so the same story I just told.
There you go, 23-1. You have price to keep your eyes on. There's my man Flintstone, hunch play for Andy, 13-1.
Look, he's been in the money 4 of his 6 starts and run 1 time here at Churchill Downs to no avail.
Bill Mott, can he get closer to 5,000 here with a homebred for Claiborne Farm and a Dill Schneider with an Acre?
Good price at 13-1 for 2 Hall of Famers with the win earlier on the card. John Velasquez and Bill Mott, 5th last time out.
6-1 on Acre. The 6, King Theo. Joe Talamo will ride.
Carlo Veracruz, the trainer here, 8th beaten 7 in the stake race at Tampa on the turf, back to the dirt, shortening up today.
His win, you see 29-1 odds, came on a sloppy racetrack at Gulfstream in the second start of his career, but he was very good that day. Yet to quite back it up. The 7, Mr. Short and Simple.
He actually ran against Max Player, who we're going to see next week in the Win Stakes. Didn't finish that day. Came back, though, and was second in a good allowance race at Aqueduct.
This horse is grade 1 place back as a 2-year-old Wrecking Crew. He ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Yeah, and he finished 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and then came back in La Salle Futurity. He was beaten 24 lengths that day, 4th of 4. Dropping in class today, though.
Some believe Tiz the Law is the best 3-year-old in the country. Toledo just ran 3rd to him last out, although a distant 3rd.
Ran 3rd to him, and this is a big drop in class for him. And to run 3rd in that race to Tiz Law, who many consider the best 3-year-old in the country, that's why he's even money right now, 6-5, by the way.
Andy made the case for the 10, Art Collector for Tom Drury Jr. Comes off that big win on a sloppy track.
Yeah, and he gets Brian Hernandez back aboard today. He knows him very well and pushes all the right buttons.
Patrol, the 11, his only start on dirt. It was a win at first asking for trainer Mark Cassidy.
Yeah, they came back and stretched him out from 6.5 furlongs on the turf at Gulfstream. So he's got that race under his belt, but back to a better distance, better class today.
Victory Boulevard, double-digit odds, and a horse who started off this year with 3 consecutive wins.
Okay, his last race, he went from sprints, stretching out to 1.8 miles in the Jeff Ruby Stakes grade 3 race, a Derby prep race. He was 23-1 that day, split the field, finishing 5th.
All right, let's go back to Jonathan Kinchin here. Jonathan, your pick 5 hopes resting on Toledo here in this spot. It's time for our Twin Spires market mover. I believe we're doing that here.
I'm looking forward to
Well, let's just tell you how to get signed up and started with Twin Spires. Hang on, JK, 1 sec. We're going to get this in real quick, and I'll get to you. Just want to remind everyone, get signed up, started with Twin Spires, new player bonus. All you have to do is sign up, head either to twinspires.com, download the Twin Spires app, opt in, use that promo code GET100 to start your $100 new player bonus right now. So, JK, if you're using that new player bonus, you'd put it on Toledo here, right?
Absolutely, Wolfie. I'm a little excited here. It's always nice to be alive. It's fun to be alive in a pick 5. So Toledo here is an interesting one for me. You know, like Gary mentioned, the class that Toledo's been running with, Tiz the Law, obviously a Grade 1 winner, one of the favorites for the Kentucky Derby. Et Indian, a horse that won the Fountain of Youth. Those are some of the horses that he's run into. And like I said, in a normal time, you know, after that February 1st race in the Holy Bull, they would probably feel like they need to go on with Toledo in order to get him into the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. But obviously, with that being rescheduled, they can take a step back, run in this allowance race. You know, in this day and age, the workouts in the mornings and the workout reports that have been available and XBTV being able to watch works, it's a lot easier to get some more clues. And some of the clues that I got with Toledo are who he's been working with. He was working with some really good Chad Brown runners, Fortin Hill, Dunbar Road we talked about in the previous segment as a Grade 1 winner, Candy Machine, another talented horse, Structor, a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner. This horse has been matched up with very, very good horses in the morning. He's got the back class in the afternoon to suggest he's going to run well, and I love his draw with an outside post. I'm obviously trying to convince myself that I'm going to hit this single with Toledo, but I do like the horse.
As Jonathan said, it's so much fun to be alive in a pick 5, but this is the nervous time when your single's getting ready to roll. Right now, the public agrees with Jonathan. Even money on the 9 Toledo as we check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
And look, I have absolutely no problems with Toledo. 7 furlongs, he looks fantastic. He looks better than he did last time I saw him in New York. But maybe you want to play around with exotics. And the horse that I like, who also caught my eye a lot in the paddock, was number 10 in your Art Collector. I know Andy likes this horse. He spoke of why you should like him. I don't really like him on paper, to be honest. I was just picking him purely based upon looks. Big, handsome, strong-looking animal, and I don't think he'll have a problem handling the 7 furlongs on the main track. Another one that has done well in the interim since I last saw him to now is number 4, Acre, for trainer Bill Mott. He's kind of thinned out. He was a bit of a chunkier, for lack of a better way to put it, 2-year-old. When I had seen him, he was quite studdish as well in the paddock. He just didn't seem as focused as you would like to see. Again, he's a sharp horse out in the racetrack, but he's become more athletic, more streamlined, and now second off of a layoff. Really like what I'm seeing from him from a fitness standpoint. And then number 3, My Man Flintstone. His 2 main track races on fast tracks, one was pretty good at Churchill, one not so good at Tampa. Tampa's a different surface than what we see with the Kentucky tracks. It's very sandy, it'll break away from a horse, and he just totally gave up in the lane. I'm wondering if the track didn't agree with him that day. Now, since he's run fairly well on synthetic, but getting back to the main track, into a tight main track as we have here at Churchill, he could be very dangerous. And 2, you know, they've kind of experimented with him going longer. He's definitely an out-and-out sprinter. He's a short coupled type of runner. But Andy, I know you were saying you thought you were Fred Flintstone earlier in the show. I mean, is this a hunch play for you or what?
Maggie, let's be clear. I was Fred Flintstone. I didn't think I was. I was Fred Flintstone. Please, little respect. I think my basic tenet here is that I know Toledo's the horse to beat. I'm not sure how good he is, really. And at a short price, I don't want to lean on him. I really do want him to win for Jonathan, but I use 4 horses, the 3, 8, 9, 10. My Man Flintstone, he's got 2 dirt races that are good enough to win. I don't know what happened at Tampa. I'm not, that Tampa excuse, it seems to come up more when they lose, not when they win. I don't know. He was bad that day, but his other dirt races are good enough, so maybe he didn't like the surface, and I think he's not impossible. He's good enough at 2 to compete. Why not improve? The 8 Wrecking Crew, I know that horses have come out of that Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and one after the other have run terribly. But he's cutting back in distance, returning to 1 turn, getting a rider switch to Jose Ortiz, and he's fast enough to win. I think that he can win this race. Wrecking Crew is dangerous. We'll see if Toledo gets it done. Best of luck to Jonathan and everybody.
You're watching the Home for Racing from Churchill Downs here on Fox Sports. Toledo, the 9, the 1 to beat. Travis Stone with the call.
Control and Victory Boulevard. They're in the gate. And they're off. My man Flintstone toward the inside. Art Collector. Wrecking Crew is up close. They race up the chute and head for the main track. And here's Juggernaut. Juggernaut comes on through to challenge My Man Flintstone for the lead. They're head and head, and they speed off together. 2.5 lengths clear of Wrecking Crew, who's giving chase out of third. 3 more lengths back to Olson in fourth. Acre is down inside fifth. Art Collector's racing in sixth. Toledo moves outside to be seventh. Patrol farther out than that in eighth. King Theo's down inside ninth by 5. Mr. Short and Simple and Victory Boulevard at the back of the pack. 21 and 4/5 seconds. A swift opening fraction. They're on the far turn. My Man Flintstone head-to-head with Juggernaut. And Wrecking Crew is right there. 3 wide on the outside. Third and now putting in a bid. 5 lengths back. Toledo. Steady progress. Up into fourth. Acres down inside fifth. Olson and Art Collector. Farther back, Victory Boulevard is mustering up a late bid. They're off the turn. They're into the stretch. Wrecking Crew and My Man Flintstone head and head for the lead. My Man Flintstone digs down deep. Wrecking Crew collars. Art Collector trying to pick him up late. And Toledo's got a shot as well. In tight. Switches outside. Art Collector 2-length lead. Toledo up into second. 100 yards to go. And Art Collector rolls from off the pace to win by 3. Toledo was second. Wrecking Crew was third. It's tight fourth. Acre or Victory Boulevard.
Art Collector, well, it wasn't just the sloppy track. Backs up that big win in the slop to end his 2-year-old campaign with another big victory.
And did it a different way from a little further off the pace. They were flying early on. And Toledo, your favorite, he had to slam on the brakes there. Don't know if he was going to come back and re-rally and beat Art Collector, but he did have to step on the brakes, but just past the 16th pole.
6-1 on Art Collector, and they were really flying early in this race.
Yeah, they were. 21 and some change, going 7/8 of a mile. I don't care how good they are. That's flying, and especially when there were 2 horses going abreast. You knew they were going to have to come back, but pay attention to the traffic problems as Art Collector drifts in a little bit. Well, we came off of it, we didn't show it, but Art Collector drifted in a little bit, and Wrecking Crew had drifted out, forcing Toledo to steady a little bit, but don't see any inquiry sign up on the board.
We've got a long way to go to get there. I know there's a lot of horses with a better resume. He's Triple Crown nominated. Could we see him at some point in a prep race?
Well, he's put back-to-back impressive wins together. That was not a fluke last time out on the sloppy racetrack. He repeated today against much tougher than what he faced in Toledo and Wrecking Crew, horse that has been running in graded races. So, hey, I wouldn't count anybody out at this point in time. It's a long ways till September. He was impressive. I guess the next thing to do would be stretch him out 2 turns.
Back-to-back wins for Art Collector, who seems to have really turned a corner. He wins here at 6-1 here in the 9th race. Toledo, 4-5 favorite, winds up second, and Wrecking Crew, who had been third in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile back as a 2-year-old, winds up third. He looked like he was in great position, Wrecking Crew, to win this race.
Yeah, he did the entire trip, but he was he was just off of that fast speed duel. He was sitting in a good place, but they were rolling, and he paid the price for it as well.
Gotta feel so good for Brian Hernandez Jr., that young man right there, to win any race in this ultra-competitive jockey colony right now.
Yeah, well, Brian, to me, he's one of the most underestimated top riders, and I've put him in the top level with all of the top jockeys in the United States. He's won Breeders' Cup Classics. He's done it quiet, mild-mannered, and he just kind of stays in the shadows, and then he jumps up, and all of a sudden he's riding a good horse. He rides a very good race, very patient rider, rides turf equally as well as what he rides the dirt.
6-1 on Art Collector. Brian Hernandez Jr., Tom Drury Jr., Bruce Lunsford, your winning connections on this son of Bernardini's. Now won back-to-back starts. Prices when we come back. We'll set up our feature race as well, and we'll talk with Jim McInville, who has always been there for the city of Houston, and during this pandemic, he's been there again.
Go from Railbird to Winner Circle. With My Racehorse, you have access to top horses and trainers, backside tours, exclusive ownership experiences, and fast payouts to your online account. With shares starting as little as $100, the Winner Circle is waiting for you. Go to myracehorse.com or download the My Racehorse app today to join the thousands who have already started their journey as a racehorse owner.
Golden Sense was Intimicious' best son at the racetrack. I think Golden Sense has a real chance to produce a classic distance horse. They've got a ton of heart. They're very competitive. They've got athleticism. They've got speed. The Golden Sense just have that it factor. They look like the good Intimicious.
Everybody else chasing Mr. Money.
By My Standards has won the New Orleans Classic.
I think he's got a big future.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on the home for racing from Churchill Downs here, Fox Sports. It's brought to you in part by America's Day at the Races. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. ABR, one of our sponsors as well. You saw in race number 9, it was Art Collector, ended his 2-year-old campaign with impressive win. That was on a sloppy racetrack. He starts off his 3-year-old campaign, maybe even more impressively.
Yeah, and 4-5 on Toledo, and Art Collector at 6-1. Won like he should have been 4-5. 2 impressive races back-to-back. He did it again today. Strong finish. He is stamped as a Triple Crown nominee, so we'll see what they do with him next. Congratulations to Tom Drury. First start for him.
If you're alive at the pick 5, you saw that 50-cent pick 3. It was huge. So you're alive to a big score. One of the sponsors of our show, you know by now, the great Run Happy, the undefeated horse as a sprinter in his career. He raced medication free. Of course, he was campaigned by the man we affectionately know as Mattress Mac, Jim McInville, who was a big part of the reason we're able to bring you all this live racing action on television. Mattress Mac, thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you on. You have done so much for your community over your entire lifetime to help out Houston whenever they have been in need. During Hurricane Harvey, when there's been flooding, you've opened the doors of gallery furniture, and now you're doing it again. Tell us how you're helping out with the pandemic.
Well, Greg and Gary, you know, the pandemic is horrible all across the country and certainly horrible in Houston. So we're feeding people that are hungry, especially children that are missing their breakfast and lunch meals at school. We're feeding people every day. We delivered about 50,000 care packages to senior citizens that are locked in because of the pandemic. And then starting Monday, we're going to set up a giant job fair that's going to go continuously for 4 months, getting people back to work. So, and also we're working on mental illness. So doing lots of stuff because we all have a responsibility for the well-being of our community.
Well, you've done so much for them, and I love something I heard you say. You said tough times never last. Texans do, and you're doing all you can to make sure that everyone in need, families, seniors, get the help they need during this time. You've even helped create a website to try and help people out, to try and get some goods for people to different areas of the city to help out. So we appreciate everything you're doing for everyone in this time of need. And of course, we appreciate your support on this show as well. You've meant so much to us here with these shows on America's Day at the Races as well. So we thank you for that.
Well, I certainly enjoy watching the shows. Y'all bring great insight to the wonderful sport of horse racing. And now that racing is the only game in town, it's onward and upward.
All right, Matt, so I want some insight from you. Big day on Thursday. You've got Run Happy, first-time starter, Pretty Happy for Laura Wallers. What can you tell us about this filly, and how excited are you for her first start?
Pretty Happy's a nice filly. She's very precocious. We wish we had the great Gary Stevens riding her. She would be a cinch if he was. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing good, Mac. Thank you. Hey, let me ask you, has she shown you any tendencies, or does she remind you in any way of the old man of Run Happy?
Yeah, I think she's real cool. She doesn't get rattled like he was. She's got some good speed, so obviously it's a tough test for her on Thursday at Churchill Downs, but it should be she'll be the first Run Happy out of the gate. And my sister-in-law, Laura Wheeler, and her husband, Kelly, they train Pretty Happy, and they also trained Run Happy. So we're looking forward to a good debut, and whatever happens, we'll be happy, and we're going to move on. We've got a lot of great Run Happy babies right now. We're excited about them getting started to 2-year-olds, and many people do as well.
Let's a look at some pictures there. Pretty Happy on the farm growing up, and cannot wait to see this first Run Happy hit the racetrack. You have a big announcement as well as what we're going to see from some of these Run Happy 2-year-olds, don't you, this summer?
Yeah, we're really excited about New York Racing Association getting opened back up. And, you know, whenever the first races are for 2-year-olds at Belmont during the Belmont spring-summer meet, we decided to extend the Run Happy $100,000 bonus. So if a filly or a colt wins a maiden special weight at Belmont Park this June, if they win a maiden special weight at Belmont Park this June, we're going to do the $100,000 bonus, which we were reserving for Saratoga, Del Mar, and Kentucky Downs. But since Belmont got delayed, we wanted to add some excitement to the Run Happy. So if a Run Happy wins the maiden special weight at Belmont coming up real soon here, the owner gets a $100,000 bonus. We think that's very exciting.
That is great news, and even more reason to look forward to New York Racing getting back in action. Of course, it was just announced on our show yesterday that they're going to start sometime in early June. We're awaiting on the official announcement of when that exact date will be. But Mattress Mac, look forward to that, and good luck with your Run Happies. And that's going to be, I know, a very special day. So much has gone into the promotion of Run Happy as a sire. To see that first one hit the racetrack, going to be a very exciting day, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I'd also like to tell all the potential Run Happy owners out there, there'll be a lot of them at the upcoming 2-year-old sale in Ocala and the 2-year-old sales in Maryland, so you can buy a Run Happy and then take it right off the track to Saratoga or to Belmont or to Kentucky Downs or Del Mar and win that $100,000 bonus. So it'll be a good return on your investment. So take a look at those Run Happies and 2-year-old sales coming up.
And if I might, too, I saw a little bit of what you posted on Facebook. You're out there trying to tell everyone what's so important for everyone and how we can stay healthy in this time of need. Number one, I believe you told us on a Facebook post, getting proper sleep. And there's nowhere to get a good bed right now, the gallery furniture. So take advantage of that as well.
That's
Mac,
right.
and I'm trying to find me a Run Happy right now.
Do what, Gary?
I said I'm in the process of trying to get a Run Happy right now, for real. I'm looking forward to it. They look athletic. And back to you, Mac. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, I saw your text the other day. That's very exciting, Gary. Let me know how that goes, and I hope you the best of luck with him. And one of the great all-time riders, my friend Gary Stevens. Great to talk to you guys. We look forward to seeing Pretty Happy in her debut at Churchill Downs this coming Thursday, and look forward to those maiden special weights with a $100,000 Run Happy bonus at Belmont this June. So it's going to be a lot of fun with Run Happy as we move forward through the summer.
Jim McIngvale, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you for your sponsorship and all you've done for us to be able to bring these races to everyone across the country. We appreciate it. That happens Thursday, race 1, Churchill Downs. Pretty Happy is the name of that filly. She's the 5 filly in that race, and owned by Jim McIngvale. I'm sure he is so excited for this. We all are, because we've been talking about Run Happy for so long, but it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, we've only had a handful of 2-year-old races so far. This year, just a handful, and a lot of 2-year-olds that were meant to go to the sales that were canceled and stuff. So it's going to be an exciting second half of the year.
Pretty Happy, 15-1 on the morning line. First time starter by Run Happy. And at Belmont, as you heard from Mattress Mac, when that meet gets started in early June, that $100,000 bonus, if you win with a 2-year-old Run Happy in a maiden special weight, extended to the Belmont meet as well. Extra incentive to go out and get a Run Happy. Get signed up started as well. Get playing with NYRA Bets. New members get a $20 free play with the promo code BET20. Visit NYRABets.com. Enter that code BET20 and sign up. $20 in your account within minutes to bet on any of the action on our show this afternoon. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NYRABets.com/BET20 to get involved. Our feature race from Churchill Downs, it is coming up next. The undefeated son of Triple Crown champion American Pharoah, winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint, 4-wheel drive. He'll break from the rail. He is even money right now. He puts that perfect record on the line next.
Sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
A reputation of excellence isn't built overnight. Day by day, year by year, decade after decade. For over 100 years, Claiborne's commitment to quality has led to unrivaled success. 10 Kentucky Derby winners, 6 Triple Crown winners, 17 Horses of the Year, 23 Hall of Famers, and over 300 champions. Building on the past, building for the future. Claiborne Farm. The tradition continues.
Since 1913, the Petaluma Creamery has believed that the best dairy products come from happy cows. It's why owner Larry Peter insists that every cow we milk is born and raised naturally to produce the finest non-GMO organic cheese and butter, like our delicious Spring Hill cheese, produced and shipped from here in California to anywhere you are. Visit springhillcheese.com and use promo code 10OFF to get $10 off your first order and enter to win free cheese for a year. Petaluma Creamery, the best dairy comes from the happiest cows.
Run Happy, you know, he's 16-2, he's a beautiful horse. There's stamina on top and bottom, and he's stamping his horses with that. I think they look big and fast, and like horses that'll go on and run a distance as well as short.
He was a fantastic racehorse, and if he passes on his ability as a racehorse, I think he's a slam dunk to be a great sire. Very athletic looking and beautiful bodied horse as well.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Still four-wheel drive to catch close to home. Chimney Rock is 2 lengths behind. Another Miracle is third on the inside. They're coming down to the line, and it's the son of American Pharoah. Four-wheel drive to win the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Chimney Rock was second.
Son of a Triple Crown champion, that was his shining moment. Kept his perfect season intact, four-wheel drive, perfect 3-for-3, capping off his 2-year-old campaign with a win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. The horse who was charging fast right behind him, he'll get to face again today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you could have hit on it earlier. Sources of Wesley Ward's. They're either going to step forward or they're going to stay as the same as they were moving into this 3-year-old year. So it's going to be interesting to see if he takes another step forward. He's already fast. He doesn't have to improve a lot, but if he does improve, he's going to be tough to beat today.
So the rematch comes with the 11-horse Chimney Rock, who, as you saw, was making up a lot of ground on four-wheel drive when they met on Breeders' Cup Day. And Chimney Rock, he does have a start already under his belt in his 3-year-old campaign.
He's got a start under his belt, and there's liable to be a thorn in four-wheel drive's side, and Jack and Noah, the 4-horse, who you saw that he's headed him before. They faced each other in four-wheel drive's first start, and he actually was in front of four-wheel drive. So him being outside of four-wheel drive, he's got to hope that he gets a good break four-wheel drive, so Jack and Noah isn't bothering and nagging him the whole way around there.
There he is with those blinkers on with the WW for Wesley Ward. Perfect 3-for-3 in his career. This is his 3-year-old debut. And again, sired by American Pharoah, the Triple Crown champion, who, of course, been so versatile as a sire on dirt and on turf, and four-wheel drive, just more proof of that. Let's bring in Andy Serling in here, and I'm sure Andy always taking an alternate view in here. The favorite 4-5 right now for his 3-year-old debut, Andy.
Well, I'm alive in the pick 4, and I'm not dumb enough to leave four-wheel drive out, and I'm not going to argue. He's the horse to beat. His credentials are strong. But I think there's an interesting challenger in the 5-race driver for Mark Casse. I don't like Jack and Noah, the one taking more money inside of him. But race driver, we'll take a look at his race last time at Fairgrounds. Now, you're going to see him getting a good trip. He really got a good trip after the start, but he got badly bothered at the start. He was bumped from both sides and ended up braking slowly, and I think it compromised him. And the horses you're going to see him running down, particularly Kingpin. Kingpin had run a very fast race in his prior start to break his maiden. In fact, as fast as four-wheel drive was running in those races, and I thought he beat him fair and square. And good trip or not, when you consider the start, I really think he ran well. And what I also like is you don't see a lot of horses cutting back from dirt routes and improving in a turf sprint. And maybe this is a talented horse, but he's found his niche in turf sprints. Turf sprints really they're a niche part of the sport. You know, turf sprinters are a very specific type of talent, whether they have speed or closers. And I am not knocking four-wheel drive. He is absolutely the horse to beat in here. But I always like to try to find an alternative to a short price. And for me, that alternative is race driver. I don't see Chimney Rock beating him unless four-wheel drive doesn't show up. But I could see race driver giving him a run for his money, or at least I hope that's the case.
You have another little wrinkle too, Gary. I mean, Irad Ortiz Jr. had been his regular pilot, but he was at Gulfstream the other day, so he was not cleared to ride at Churchill Downs today, so it's Manny Franco aboard.
Yeah, well, he can sub just fine, I think, for Irad. He's a top-class rider, and, you know, if this horse is push button, like he appears to have been in his first 3 starts, Manny's not going to have a hard time getting to know him here first time on his back.
Here he is, four-wheel drive, undefeated son of a Triple Crown champion, making his 3-year-old debut.
Yeah, and you saw him in the paddock walking all cool and collected. He's walking out on that racetrack and getting on his toes a little bit. He knows what he's here for. Been waiting all spring for this.
Alec and Arthur, big long shot at 71-1.
Yeah, jogging off nice right there. He also has some speed, but he doesn't have the speed of four-wheel drive.
Guildsman, the 3, group placed in Ireland.
Group placed in Ireland, came over, ran in the Texas Glitter at Gulfstream Park, finished 3rd that day in his one and only start here in America.
Jack and Noah, this is a horse who outquicked four-wheel drive to the front when they met in a stakes race as 2-year-olds.
Yeah, he's fast. He showed speed in all 4 of his lifetime starts, and he has a tough time hanging on. You know, they stretched him out last time, dropping him back into the sprint today.
The one Andy was talking about, race driver's only turf start was a win.
Hey, you can make a case for him. There's going to be a lot of speed in here up front, and if the race falls apart, Florent Giroux, and race driver can pick up the pieces.
You had a huge win on Oxbow to win a Preakness, and now this son of Oxbow getting on the turf for the first time. Hopeful treasure.
And I think that the Oxbows maybe prefer the turf. And this horse coming off of a decent win that was in February, been off for a long time.
Bango the 7 gets on turf for the first time.
Yeah, his first time on turf. Thing I liked is he ran at Turfway Park on the synthetic last time, and it was a winning race, the Animal Kingdom. And usually when horses handle the synthetic, they will adapt to the grass as well. Rafael Bejarano riding.
The Gray Blur, he went gate to wire last start. He's going to have a hard time making the lead here.
Yeah, he is. There's plenty of speed in here, plenty of more speed than what he's faced. He had dropped out of route races at Fairgrounds into a 5.5 furlong. He was on the lead, but it was a slow pace.
Here's the horse who was gaining with every stride on four-wheel drive in the Breeders' Cup, Chimney Rock.
Yeah, he was a little late swapping into his right lead. Normally, horses run around the turns in their left lead, swap over when they straighten out. He failed to swap leads that day. When he did, inside the final 16th, he found another gear and actually ran on nice.
Turf debut for Betcha I Will at 75 to 1.
Yeah, big price for Jim Chapman. John McKee rides. He said 6 lifetime starts and 3 wins.
City Front, one of 2 also eligibles that draw into the field. He'll take blinkers off and a new gelding.
Okay, he's had a lot of experience already in his young career. He's had 11 lifetime starts. It's a lot for a 2-year-old turning 3. Blinkers are coming off this one.
And Kierkegaard in from the also eligible list as well. The 14 had a win, gate to wire on turf at a mile at Churchill.
Yeah, and Jet Sisterson, he runs a lot of horses for Calumet Farm. Main trainer, head trainer for Calumet Farm. Not afraid to take a shot. Former assistant to Doug O'Neill. He knows how to win stake races.
Time now for the Twin Spires Market Mover, where we identify the horse attracting the most support in the money in the late betting. Jonathan, where are we headed?
Yeah, the Twin Spires Market Mover, some might think it's going to be the 1 4-wheel drive, but I think we all knew this horse was going to be odds on. For me, it's the 3 Guildsman. Okay, it's a horse that I liked on paper anyways, but if you see the action the horse is getting here, was 6 to 1 morning line, drops down to 4 to 1, should be the second choice in this spot. Obviously, the 11 Chimney Rock could take a little bit of late money. The 3 Guildsman, if you look at his last race, he missed the break completely in a 5 furlong turf sprint. That's a borderline quarter horse race. It's so short, that 5 furlongs. He gets the extra half furlong right here to close. They know that he broke slow last time, so Joel is now going to be aware of that and will hopefully try to get him into the race. This is also a much more full field with possibly more speed. I think Guildsman is going to be running late, and it doesn't hurt that you have the combination of Joel Rosario and Brendan Walsh, who won the first leg of the pick 5 at 7 to 1. Joel, one of the best turf closers in the country that we have. And so, look, I know that he's got 4 legs, but I'm going to toss it to Maggie because I bet you she can tell you how he looks on the racetrack.
Liking everything I'm seeing here, Jonathan. It's funny because he doesn't look like an out-and-out turf sprinter. He very much has that European type of physicality to him, but he has proven that he is very adept at the turf sprints. Now, a lot of times we see these European horses, they don't break well in their first start in the States because over there, they aren't gate schooled as much. They don't have a person, a handler in the gate oftentimes when they break from the gate. So you just see that. Now, hopefully he's learned his lesson. He gets out of the gate, and as you said, he gets the right kind of setup here. And that might come from your current favorite down on the rail, 4-wheel drive. To me, he looks much the same as he did as a 2-year-old. He's a stocky type of runner. He's solid. He looks fit enough to me, and he's got a great mind, and that's one of the things that Wesley Ward has said about this horse, and that he just kind of takes everything in hand. He did express some concern, at least in what I've read, that he hasn't maybe gone on from 2 to 3, that he was just an early 2-year-old. We'll find out, though, here today. He does look good. I can't fault him. Number 4, Jack and Noah. Now, he's fast. He's run off fast, and that's the thing about 4-wheel drive is he's shown he can rate a little bit off the pace. We'll see what he does for from the one hole, but Jack and Noah is such a light-mouthed horse. You see a neck strap on this horse, is if we can see him when he comes up to the gate. That's for when the jock breaks from the gate, they can grab that instead of grabbing his mouth, because when you grab this horse's mouth, he'll run off. That's what happened 3 starts ago in the Grade 3 Futurity at Belmont Park. So if Tyler can sit chilly, obviously the cutback in distance will help him, but sit chilly on this horse, not get in his way, and just kind of dole out those fractions. We'll see what Jack and Noah can bring to the table. The other Mark Casse horse here, Greg.
All right, again, if you want to play that market mover, go to twinspires.com or download that TwinSpires app. Opt in, use the promo code GET100 to get involved. The rematch from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. 4-wheel drive, putting his perfect record on the line, taking on Chimney Rock once again. You're watching the home for racing from Churchill Downs here on Fox Sports. Let's go to Travis Stone.
They're in the gate. And they're off, and 4-wheel drive, a stutter step start, is relegated to near the back of the pack, trying to make up for lost time, angling off the hedge, but is in heavy traffic and is 5 lengths off the lead. Jack and Noah broke well and races clear to lead by 3. Chimney Rock on the outside racing in second. The Gray Blur is now third. Bango comes away in fourth. Kierkegaard far outside fifth. Alec and Arthur is sixth. 4-wheel drive trying to muscle up on through from seventh. In tight there as they round the far turn. Farther back in the field, City Front comes away 9 or 10 lengths off the lead, followed by Guildsman toward the rail. And then it's Race Driver, Betcha I Will, and at the back is Hopeful Treasure as they come for the top of the stretch. Jack and Noah clear sailing by the quarter pole. Chimney Rock right alongside in second. 4-wheel drive has emerged from the pack to be third, but is still 5 lengths behind, and there's 1 furlong to go. Jack and Noah digging down deep. Chimney Rock collars outside. These two head and head, 16th out. Jack and Noah is determined. Chimney Rock is resolute. Chimney Rock outside, Jack and Noah, ding-dong finish. Here's the wire. Chimney Rock got it. Chimney Rock outruns Jack and Noah in a thrilling stretch drive. Guildsman was third. Race Driver was fourth. 4-wheel drive off the board.
Chimney Rock with the win in the rematch in 4-wheel drive. Oh, compromised beginning.
Compromised, heavily compromised. Lost pretty much all chance. Put himself back in the race coming into the stretch, but too much work to do. But what a battle up front with Jack and Noah and Chimney Rock. Breeders' Cup second place finisher. Jack and Noah, he hung in there tough today, but Chimney Rock got the perfect position. Yeah, he got left, and this is a nightmare when you're a jockey, when you're a trainer standing up there in the grandstand, drawn down in the one hole. It's all right to get left, but he got left bad, and it's all right to get left anywhere but the one hole when there's, 12 horses in a field. They shuffle down in front of you, and that turn comes up so quickly in these sprint races down the backstretch, and really compromised. He did get in a decent position, but he had to use too much energy off of that long layoff to make any impact in the stretch. But all credit goes to Chimney Rock. He didn't make his own trouble like 4-wheel drive did. He just had a perfect trip, sitting outside, got away clean. Same for Jack and Noah.
Well, the rematch, not what we expected with that bad beginning from 4-wheel drive. Lost pretty much all chance there, but Chimney Rock shows up, and he got a battle, all he could handle from the speedster Jack and Noah, who was obviously helped without that other speed of the undefeated 4-wheel drive, pressuring him early on.
And I didn't see, but I think that Race Driver, he was running out, came from the clouds. He may have got up for third. There was going to be a photo between the one 4-wheel drive and Race Driver, if I was seeing correctly, but I was paying more attention to the battle that was going on up front.
5-1 right on his morning line. Chimney Rock on the outside. The speedster Jack and Noah down on the inside on the rail, and Chimney Rock would just prevail.
Yeah, and the results are in. It was 11, 4, 3, 5. So Chimney Rock, Jack and Noah, Guildsman, and Race Driver.
Yeah, Guildsman, that market mover, completing the trifecta in here. Race Driver, as Gary mentioned, completing the superfecta. But Chimney Rock, in the rematch, picks up the second turf win of his career after that near miss on Breeders' Cup Day.
Yeah, and post positions changed totally. Advantage to Chimney Rock, because in the Breeders' Cup it was an advantage to 4-wheel drive Chimney Rock had drawn the one hole that day, and four-wheel drive was drawn towards the outside. He got the clean break that day. Chimney Rock, he took all the worst of it down inside and still was able to hang on for second, but a big advantage to him with the post position change day, especially when four-wheel drive broke flat-footed.
And, you know, as for four-wheel drive, this race just a complete throwout?
I would say I would be pretty happy if I was the trainer and the connections off of this. He actually finished, he showed some class by finishing fourth today. I thought he did, just for the fact that he was giving him such a head start. He's got a race under his belt now. I wouldn't be too concerned with it. I wouldn't throw it out. I would just say that, hey, he still ran a fighting good race under the circumstances.
Now one more look down the stretch. Chimney Rock in a duel with that speedy Jack and Noah in here, who really fought gamely all the way to the wire, gave Chimney Rock all he could handle. But in the end, Jose Ortiz, Mike Maker, 3 Diamonds Farm, picture time.
Yeah, it was a great battle between the two of them. And really nice run, late run for a race driver. So when race driver possibly stretches back out, he's tried going long before, but not on the turf. So look for Mark Cassidy to be stretching race driver out next time.
$2 pick 3, close to $1,000. $13.80 on Chimney Rock.
Wow.
Goes off at 5-1. And here again, it's Mike Maker, Jose Ortiz, 3 Diamonds Farm. Your winning connection to son of Artie Schiller. Still have another one coming up from Churchill. We'll set the stage for that. Quick break. We'll be back with more here on America's Day of the Races on Fox Sports 1 as opening weekend continues from Churchill Downs.
Grade 1 winner and track record setter Lee. Like their sire, his first crop runners have excelled on both dirt and turf, including stakes winner and graded stakes performer Muskoka Gold and 2-year-old stakes winning filly Vast, with juveniles selling over $400,000 and yearlings bringing up to $650,000. The sky is the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Thoroughbreds. In Kentucky, it's not just a business, it's a living, breathing industry, dependent on the care of skilled tradesmen and women on a daily basis. Many of these brave individuals have continued to make the safety and welfare of every horse their top priority through these uncertain times. And for that, we're all grateful.
They turn for home, a quarter of a mile to run. It's
Bets. Freehouse got a short lead. Silver Charm. Captain Budget trying to look for a way through. He's going to angle out for the stretch drive. Down to the inside. Touch Goal. What a race from Touch Goal today. Final furlong. Freehouse by ahead. Silver Charm. Captain Budget. Touch Gold. Freehouse. Silver Charm. Head to head. They're in very close quarters. Shoulder to shoulder. Head to head. Nose to nose. Freehouse. Silver Charm. Captain Budget. Oh, it's close. Could be Silver Charm in between Freehouse, Captain Budget, and a Preakness we will remember.
The 1997 Preakness, one of the greatest editions of all time, with Silver Charm and Gary Stevens.
Yeah, he loved to fight, Greg. He's fighting with Freehouse, but he wasn't going to go by Freehouse until Captain Budget came up on his hip. When he felt the pressure of him, he was able to put his nose down on the finish line, and man, that was a race for the ages right there.
Yeah, Bob Baffert had said if it was not for Captain Budget, he might not have won that race.
Yeah, but I told Bob that I felt that, and that's the way he was. If he sensed a horse next to him, he would not let him by. Swain actually got by him in the 1998 Dubai World Cup inside the last 50 yards, and the same thing. He put his nose back down on the wire. He seemed to know where the wire was, and if he could feel a horse next to him, actually, Freehouse came out and just bumped me ever so slightly, and it kind of got Silver Charm re-engaged, but those final 3 strides right there were the ones that counted the most.
Oldest living Preakness winner. He was only $16,500 at auction when he was purchased. Hall of Fame inductee back in 2007.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I go out and see him as often as I can when we're back in Kentucky. He's still doing well, gets great care. Old friends there in Kentucky, and pretty proud that I was fortunate enough to get to ride Silver Charm.
And I assume that Silver Charm, you got at least 1 vote on Andy Serling's Twitter poll from earlier today.
He did, at least
okay,
one.
Good. You have your buddies back. What an addition to the Preakness that was back in 1997. Pretty incredible. We just had our feature race, and it was Chimney Rock getting the job done in this turf sprint in the rematch with 4-wheel drive. Of course, big news in the sport as well, not just this weekend with Churchill Downs back running again, but we got news just yesterday. Governor Andrew Cuomo, state of New York, says green light given to the New York Racing Association to resume racing beginning June the 1st. We're going to have an announcement very soon, probably early this week coming up, of when the actual start date will be for Belmont Park.
I can't wait to get back racing in New York, and I know the people in New York, not only the racing people, but the fans of thoroughbred horse racing cannot wait for racing back at Belmont Park.
So we'll be back. We cannot wait with racing from Belmont and New York. And as we heard from Mattress Mac, $100,000 bonus on the line at Belmont Park for 2-year-old Run Happies in maiden special weight. So we look forward to that. Be seeing you soon with New York Racing Association back in action from Belmont Park. And of course, we'll continue all meet long. Fox Sports, the home for racing from Churchill Downs. We hope you enjoyed our opening weekend. We had a pretty good final race here on Fox Sports 1 to close out the weekend. We're not done yet. We're actually going to head over to Fox Sports 2. We're going to have the nightcap coming up, race 11 over on FS2. Next on FS1, we have MLS and professional EMLS players teaming up for a 2-legged series. 4 teams are paired off, and they will face each other week after week using real team rosters. So stay tuned for that on FS1. Opening week coverage concludes with a couple of real good ones. An improving 3-year-old art collector. Could he put himself onto the road to the Kentucky Derby? Back-to-back wins and a brilliant 3-year-old debut for the son of Bernardini. And in the rematch with the undefeated 4-wheel drive, it was Chimney Rock with the win in the feature race. We'll see you on FS2 after a short break. Take care.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Since 1913, the Petaluma Creamery has believed that the best dairy products come from happy cows. It's why owner Larry Peter insists that every cow we milk is born and raised naturally to produce the finest non-GMO organic cheese and butter, like our delicious Spring Hill cheese, produced and shipped from here in California to anywhere you are. Visit springhillcheese.com and use promo code 10OFF to get $10 off your first order and enter to win free cheese for a year. Petaluma Creamery, the best dairy comes from the happiest cows.
Adrenaline pumping, hearts racing, the thrill of winning. And it all happens right here. Twin Spires, from the team behind the Kentucky Derby and the destination for horse racing wagering from around the globe. From beginner to expert, Twin Spires is betting made fun and easy. We're offering up to $100 in bonus funds for new players, as well as daily offers and promotions for all our players. Twin Spires, racing into your home. Download the app now. See site for details. Void where prohibited. Please wager responsibly.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
Welcome to America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Wolf. Great to be with you here on Fox Sports 2 with our continuing opening weekend coverage from Churchill Downs, and all the best jockeys, trainers, and their horses have converged here in Louisville for what has been an extremely competitive opening weekend at this meet. Churchill Downs, of course, was supposed to get going back in late April. It had to be delayed for a little bit due to the coronavirus, but this weekend it has come back with a bang, and doing so, of course, with extreme safety protocols in place. With me on set, of course, Hall of Famer Gary Stevens. We'll get your thoughts here on this opening in just a minute, Gary, but a look at Churchill Downs and running again without spectators, but so far it's been a tremendous weekend. We have seen full fields, we've seen a lot of upsets, and we've seen a lot of talent on hand here.
And we've got a lot of people at home that are race fans that are watching these races, and we're proud to be bringing it to you, the home of Churchill Downs on Fox. Bringing it to you is special, and it's been a great opening weekend. A lot of horses running, a lot of big payoffs, and a lot of excitement so far, with a lot more to come.
There's so many of sports on hold right now, but it's great to get Churchill Downs back running again, and we're also going to get New York racing back running again very, very soon. It was just announced yesterday. New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that June 1st, New York racing will be and can get the green light to go back in action. There's going to be an announcement sometime early next week, we believe, coming up when the official start date will be. Of course, they have to put a condition book together and determine when the Belmont Stakes is going to be run.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest question is deciding right now. When is the Belmont Stakes going to run? When is Belmont going to open? We're going to know that early this week, and exciting time.
Well, with more on all the latest of what's happening with New York racing, let's bring in Maggie Wolfendale for more. Maggie?
Well, Greg, it was such a welcomed announcement yesterday that racing had the green light to go June 1st here in the state of New York. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize all the steps that you have to go through. First of all, I mean, just the safety protocols that we put in place on the NYRA backstretch, Belmont backstretch, I should say, for the 800 plus workers that take care of the near 1,500 horses that we have on the backside as well, including wearing the face mask, practicing social distancing, washing hands, disinfecting everything, including the starting gate, as we were using it to school. Also, we have to get clearance from the Department of Health, the New York State Gaming, and obviously Governor Cuomo. So there was a lot of steps to go through, and hopefully, as you said, we will have that announcement as when racing will actually begin at Belmont. But the main track opened up earlier this week. We've had some notable workers out on there, including Belmont Stakes 2019 winner Sir Winston, as well as multiple Grade 1 winning sprinter Mind Control, as they are preparing at Belmont for their next starts, Greg.
Oh, great news to have New York Racing back again. An announcement coming from the New York Racing Association, we believe early this week coming up, of when the official start date will be. So all the pieces of the puzzle to horse racing are starting to fit together now. We knew already the Kentucky Derby would be that first Saturday in September, September the 5th. And now we heard just the other day as well when the Preakness would be run.
October 3rd, or October 3rd, it's going to be run, the Preakness Stakes. So very likely that the Belmont Stakes is going to be run as the first leg of the Triple Crown prior to the Kentucky Derby.
Pretty incredible. It's going to be a Triple Crown like we have never seen before. So the Preakness Stakes, it will take place 1 month after the Kentucky Derby. Usually it's 2 weeks later. This is going to be a totally different ballgame for all these 3-year-olds. No more trying to win 3 races in 5 weeks.
No, and I think the majority of the trainers, even though these horses are going to be more mature in September than what they were going to be getting ready for the first weekend in May, they are going to be more mature, but they're going to have more time to bounce back in between these 3 races, which I think is going to make a big impact on a horse winning the Triple Crown. They're going to have more time to recover, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and remember, still a lot of time to get there for the Kentucky Derby for that first Saturday in May. But in terms of the Belmont Stakes, we don't know the date yet. Probably going to be a different distance as well, but the runners that are thinking Triple Crown, they got to start gearing up for that race, you would think, fairly soon.
Yeah, and listen, for years and years gone past, people say, should they change the distance of these races? Should they change the timing? Nobody wanted to mess with the history of the Triple Crown races, so they never tinkered with it. Well, we were forced into it this year, so they're going to get their answer if it's a better thing or not.
Yeah, how about that? Finally going to happen here. An unprecedented year with what's going on in sports, and certainly with the Triple Crown. 11th from Churchill Downs going to close out this Sunday card with a 6-furlong sprint, maiden special weight. So everybody in this field looking for that first win of their career, and our even money favorite, the 10, Chasing Anna, for trainer Kenny McPeak, who showed very good speed first time out. This will be the second start of his career. At a very short number right now, is 5-1 in the debut at Gulfstream. That was at 7/8 of a mile. But right now, again, even money on the board, and Jose Ortiz will look to go back-to-back to close out this Sunday card.
Yeah, I think this is, you know, a no-brainer looking on paper for Chasing Anna. Showed great gate speed first time out, now shortening back up from 7 furlongs to 6 furlong, tired going to 7/8, so shortening up I think is a positive thing for today's race.
Yeah, you can make the argument, had that race maybe been 6 furlongs, she might have been the winner, or he might have been the winner in that debut. And now we'll get 6 furlongs for start number 2. Post-parade here coming up. We will begin with a first-time starter, Hoof Prince, for trainer Mike Maker, and Javier Castellano will be aboard.
Yeah, son of Cairo Prince, first-time starter, as you mentioned, got a long, steady work pattern at Palm Meadows this winter, and has just shipped into Churchill Downs.
So Hoof Prince, son of Cairo Prince, debut comes here, and never easy to break from the rails a first-time starter. That'll be the case, though, for Hoof Prince. The 2, Kowalski, Joe Talamo for Hall of Famer, the great D. Wayne Lucas.
Wayne had touted this horse before he ever ran last year as his Triple Crown horse, that this was going to be his Derby horse. He's been a little bit disappointed. People have bet on him in the past, but he is nominated to the Triple Crown. So, Wayne, you still may get your wish, buddy.
He's tackled some real sharp company so far. The 3, Toshio, start number 2, debuted in 2018 on turf.
For Bill Morey, the trainer, had his first winner at Churchill yesterday. Alvin Jimenez is the jockey. Started once, lost the jock. That was at Del Mar last summer.
51 to 1 shot, first-timer, Entertainment.
Entertainment, colt by Gemologist, and he's got some decent works on his work tab.
Another big price next door is Danzar for Randy Klopp.
Yeah, he's been bet on in all 3 of his races. Those came in September last year at Gulfstream Park. Been off since then, but he has failed to hit the winner's circle yet.
He was expensive, $500,000, son of Will Take Charge. Prince Jerseytown, the 6th, 37-1.
He's got some early gate speed. At least he did at Turfway Park on the synthetic. Didn't have much luck on that synthetic. His last race at Indiana Downs on the dirt last October was a decent second.
Trainer Steve Asmussen trying to inch closer to becoming the all-time leading trainer in Churchill Downs history with Whiskey Man.
Yeah, and Whiskey Man, he ran a good third his first out at Ellis Park. Then he got trounced by 48 lengths last year in October. He's been off since then. That's too poor with the prices that he was bet. Expect a better effort out of Whiskey Man off the layoff.
Tyler Bays, he'll be on the feature.
He's on the feature, starter 2 times. Brian Williamson, the trainer.
Uncle Kick, the 9. This is his debut. He's 25-1.
Yeah, he only shows 4 works on his work tab. Tough read for him.
Chasing Anna, the favorite, and they will have to chase him. He is quick.
He is quick, big, tall, good-looking thing. Got a good bounce in his gallop right there. Chasing Anna, the speed of the race.
4-5, odds on for trainer Kenny McPeak. Real Man, the 11 to 28-1 long shot, Julian Leperoux aboard.
Yeah, he's been beaten double figures in all 3 of his races. Ian Wilkes taking over for Bill Bradley, or Buff Bradley. His last start was November at Churchill Downs, trying to reverse his form.
And Bourbon Native 56-1, couple of changes there on the outside.
And Brinkers are coming off on him. Finished 4th, beaten 3 3/4 lengths last time out.
That's your field here for this finale on this opening weekend at Churchill Downs. Twin Spires has got a fantastic new player bonus today. All you have to do to sign up, head to twinspires.com or download the Twin Spires app, opt in, and use the promo code GET100 to start your new $100 new player bonus right now. So Andy Serling, let's bring you in here as we take a look here at the favorite Chasing Anna. Speed shortens up, lot to like here except the price.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things to discuss. Her first race was very good. His was, excuse me. The thing is, he was cranked up to win first time, and sometimes these horses don't come back and run as well. Now, ultimately, Kenny McPeak made a mistake running his horse 7 furlongs because he just shortened stride late and couldn't get the distance. He did lose to a very promising horse named Basquiat for Chad Brown and Peter Brandt. And if he runs back to his last race, he's probably going to win this race. But I just wonder if he will. And I think the race is a little more complicated. A lot of money coming in for the 7 Whiskey Man, who has been bet in both of his starts for Steve Asmussen. Now, okay, he's a first-time starter, he gets bet. He got a 37 buyer first time out, yet he takes money in his second start. Obviously, something went wrong in that race. His trip in his first race was extreme. He had trouble in significant points in there and was really running. And if you like gallop outs, he was running strong at the end. But it was a slow race. But if you look up the runners from that race, a number of them came back and have run much better. So it might be a stronger race than it looks. And I think the money he's taking, especially in the face of horses like the 10, and even the 1 Hoof Prince, a first year who got bet for Mike Maker, I think the money, especially for this barn, has to be considered significant. But I like the 2 Kowalski. Kowalski, I don't know why Wayne Lucas ran a mile last night. He's really a horse that wants to go shorter, not longer. And I think he showed that in his 7 furlong race at Saratoga. This horse was running against significant 2-year-olds and running figures as a 2-year-old fast enough to beat Chasing Anna. And I think that Kowalski is definitely a factor in here. He cannot get caught up, though, in a duel with Chasing Anna. But I like Kowalski on the turnback, Jonathan.
Yeah, I do too, Andy. I like Kowalski mostly because it's named after that cute little penguin, I think, from that movie Madagascar. Actually, someone told me that's not true. I think it's like a wrestler, but I like to pretend it's the penguin. I was at Churchill Downs the day that he won, that he ran third. He had a very troubled trip. Ran behind a horse by that was, previously had a different name, but named now Scabbard. Ran behind Scabbard. Also ran into a horse by the name of Shoplifted, was another good sprinter for Steve Asmussen. And he kind of just went off form. Now he's back home to the scene of his probably his best race, although it was third, back at Churchill Downs and back home with the coach as well, so in D. Wayne Lucas. So I think Kowalski's a very interesting alternative, but I'm interested to see what Maggie has to say.
And Jonathan, I want to look at the first-time starter from the rail. That is Hoof Prince for trainer Mike Maker. Now, Mike, not really known for winning first time out with his horses. This guy looks like a dirt sprinter through and through, but a little bit soft around the edges, but then again, has a plethora of works to come in here. Now, one that you almost have to treat like a first-time starter is number 3, Toshio. Has been away from the races for 20 months, and first time out, lost a jock on the turf. This guy's bred for the dirt, though. He's actually half to several good dirt sprinters or longer horses as well, including Secure It Is, Million Reasons Why, who won the Matron here in New York, and the Dan was a multiple stakes winning dirt sprinter. So while it's a long layoff, he does have some nice works coming in here at the Trackside Training Center. We'll see what we get from him, but I do feel as though he's on the right surface for his second start of his career, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. Well, they all got a beat and try and run down the speedy Chasing Anna, the 10-horse, the big favorite with Jose Ortiz for Kenny McPeak. You're watching Fox Sports, the home for racing from Churchill Downs. Travis Stone with the nightcap here on opening weekend.
And they're off. Good beginning for Chasing Anna on the far outside. Kowalski showing speed as well. Toshio's up close. Prince Jersey Town not far behind. Those 4 right across the track early on. Hoof Prince comes away in 5th while down inside. And then it's Danzar racing in 6th. Entertainment toward the inside is now 7th. The feature moves up into 8th. Uncle Kick is 9th. Whiskey Man is racing in 10th. Just ahead of Real Man, who's 11th. And Bourbon Native is at the back, 21. And 2/5 seconds, a contested quarter it was. And Toshio comes away with the lead. Prince Jersey Town now 2nd. Chasing Anna 3 wide round the far turn in 3rd. Kowalski backed off to be 4th for the run to the quarter pole. Then it's Hoof Prince running along in 5th. The feature has some run, needs to find room down inside, followed by Entertainment and Uncle Kick. They're off the turn. Prince Jersey Town up for a narrow lead. Chasing Anna has to respond outside. Toshio fights on toward the rail. Then it's Hoof Prince, Kowalski, and the feature, Prince Jersey Town, digging down. Toshio trying to re-rally. Chasing Anna 3rd. The feature trying to find room still. Angles outside. Final try. Prince Jersey Town and Toshio with the feature outside. Here's the wire. Prince Jersey Town might have got the nose down first at a big price, but it's tight. Toshio right there, followed by the feature, Chasing Anna, that was either Hoof Prince or Whiskey Man.
I'm with Travis Stone. I thought it might have been Prince Jersey Town, the 6th here. Start number 7, a new gelding.
Yeah, I have no idea what price this horse was. There was a heck of a battle coming down through the stretch. And Toshio showed tons of speed early on, buried Kowalski early on, and exciting finish.
23-1 if it is indeed Prince Jersey Town, which it looks like it is as we look at the start again. As for Chasing Anna, had to be forced wide early on.
Yeah, forced wide, and they were flying early. They went 21-2, 45-1, 57. 110-3 was the final time, so didn't slow down a whole lot. But anytime there's 3 horses going head and head up on the lead, and you're part of that speed duel, you're going to pay the price. He was wide early on, just 3 wide. It wasn't that big a deal, but I think his doing in was laying close to that fast pace.
Well, Maggie, you brought up some reasons to like Toshio, and here runs a big one, but comes up just short.
I mean, considering it's been over 20 months since this horse has run and participated in a horse race, that was a pretty valiant effort, especially given the fractions that he put in, burying Kowalski as well. But give credit to the winner as well as Prince Jersey Town. One of my favorite angles in racing, and I'm not trying to be sinister here, but new geldings. They really, most horses will respond well to that, and he ran just as well. And really nothing, no response necessarily from the favorite in Chasing Anna. You know, he didn't have the brilliant speed that he did first time out, and as Andy pointed out, he may have, you know, he may have missed when he was supposed to win, which was in his debut. Greg?
Yeah, we did not see anywhere near that same kind of speed. She's right. And we saw from Chasing Anna in that debut. Winds up 4th in this race. 6-3, 8-10, 23-1, over 9-1, over 24-1. The feature hitting the board, running 3rd here with Tyler Bays aboard. But it was all about Prince Jersey Town. That was a good battle with Toshio. And Toshio looks like, yeah, definitely one to keep your eyes on next time out. First race for Toshio since September of 2018. Back with prices from the 11th from Churchill and more right after this break.
I think the bonus is really interesting. Mr. McInvale, as usual, is thinking outside the box, doing a wonderful job promoting his horse. Buyers will really appreciate having an opportunity like that to come back and run their horses at these top tracks and earn that bonus.
It's a wonderful incentive both for people in the market and people that own these horses. And I mean, what a great bonus it would be for anybody that wins. I think it's wonderful.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
You're watching America's Day at the Races on Fox Sports 2. Thanks for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. Program brought to you in part by the champion sprinter, Run Happy. Never lost in his career while sprinting and did it all while racing medication-free. We had Mattress Mac on the program earlier today, and he announced $100,000 bonus for 2-year-old Run Happies will be extended to Belmont Park. If you win a maiden special with a Run Happy, $100,000 bonus at Belmont Park, and we'll announce a start date for Belmont coming up early this week. Nightcap at Churchill Downs, Prince Jersey Town in a duel with Toshio the 3.
Yeah, look at the action on this horse. He looks like an anteater running Prince Jersey Town. Got his head down low, giving everything he's got, and that's what wins the race for him. Getting that head down and the nose out. $49.20. We've had some payoffs today. Look at that.
What can you do extra as you're in really a fist fight like that to the wire with another horse? As a rider, what are you doing to get more out of your mount?
You're fighting the same as your horse is. If something's not working, if he's not putting out or she's not putting out, you try something different. A lot of horses like that one there, they want to be held together. They don't want to be shoved on a whole lot, just getting a rhythm with them. It's how AP Indy used to run, with his head down low, stretched out. Eddie used to hold him together, and he'd respond for him. So it just depends on the individual, Greg.
Prince Jerseytown with the win, $49.20 to close things out. And nice call by Maggie there with Toshio. Horse ran very good off a very long layoff. Let's check in now with Maggie Wolfendale with more on how New York is helping during this time of need.
And so much has been done, Greg, but if fans can also help out in supporting the Backstretch Chaplaincy of America, BEST, the Backstretch Employee Service Team, as well as the Belmont Child Care Association by going to shop.NYRA.com to purchase some really cool t-shirts that say Belmont Tough and Saratoga Strong. So all the proceeds will go to those three groups and associations that have really worked tirelessly to support the backstretch community during this coronavirus pandemic. Greg?
Maggie, thanks. Again, go to shop.NYRA.com if you want to contribute. Get those nifty t-shirts, and all for a good cause as well. Next weekend on our programming, more from Churchill Downs and filled with stakes action, including a Kentucky Derby prep race. Again, revamped prep races with what's going on with the Derby. Moved to that first Saturday in September. The Matt Winn will be one of them.
Yeah, we've got 5 stake races next week. The Matt Winn for 3-year-olds Derby prep race. Points are involved in that. The Blaine for older horses, the Shawnee, the fillies and mares, the War Chant on turf, and the Tepin on turf for 3-year-old fillies as well.
We'll see the return of Dunbar Rogue, Alabama winner from last summer at Saratoga in the Shawnee. In the Matt Winn, 50 points to the winner to get into that starting gate in the Kentucky Derby that first Saturday in September. That's a look at the field that will line up. It includes one of the top 2-year-olds from last year. We didn't get to see him beyond his Breeders' Futurity win at Keeneland. That's Maxfield for Brendan Walsh.
Yeah, he was one of the favorites for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He had to come out of the Breeders' Cup with a small injury that the time off has helped him. This will be his first race back, but what a race he ran here. Breaks last, and that's kind of been his MO. He's undefeated in 2 starts, but this wasn't a fast pace this day, and he just tracks and trails the field, and it doesn't really look like he's going to be an impact, but when he turns into the backstretch, he gets into a great rhythm, starts passing horses, picking them off one by one, Greg.
Oh, he comes from so far back, and to do that, as you said, to come from that far back when there wasn't even a fast pace, really flatters his form.
This move right here was incredible. It reminded me of Azari back in the Breeders' Cup years ago. Azari, when he came over from Europe, that big sweeping turn around, move around the turn, straightens up into the stretch, and just hits another gear. He was in that drive for a long while. I thought he was going to get tired. He was lengthening from the field, and he should be more mature right now than what he was last year. So really looking forward to seeing him running the Matt Winn next weekend.
And the separation at the wire when he started that far back with a slow pace. He is talented. We've been waiting for him to come back. His 3-year-old debut. It happens next weekend in a points race to qualify for the Kentucky Derby. That is in the Matt Winn. We'll have live coverage on Fox Sports. We hope you join us next weekend with more live action from Churchill Downs. Fox Sports, of course, the home for horse racing from Churchill Downs. And we'll have it all for you. So what a big weekend. So great to get Churchill Downs back, to see this track going again. Big boost for the sport.
Yeah, the numbers were huge. The entries, there were horses on the also eligible. The competition was stiff. Big prices out there. Good value on the horses. It's like a Breeders' Cup weekend or a Derby weekend when there are a lot of great races, and we've got more of it coming up next week.
It's only going to get better from here. So again, we hope you join us. We're back Thursday, 1 Eastern time. That'll be on FS2. Rest of the week, check your local listings, whether we're FS1 or FS2. But again, that's going to be a tremendous Stephen Foster preview day on Saturday, including that Matt Winn, that Kentucky Derby prep. And we get to see the Alabama winner, Dunbar Road, back in action for trainer Chad Brown in the Shawnee. Tremendous opening weekend. We want to thank Churchill Downs, our new partners here. We are the home, Fox Sports, for Churchill Downs Racing all meet long. In the nightcap in the 11th, pretty good 3-year-old race and a pretty good throwdown to the wire. It was Prince Jerseytown, the big prices. They continued in the finale, 23-1. Son of Jerseytown with the victory. outdoing Toshio for the victory. We will see you Thursday, 1 Eastern on Fox Sports 2.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
Undefeated Grade 1 winner Mastery won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe. Now, his much-anticipated first crop are bringing top dollar in the sales ring. Mastery, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Adrenaline pumping, hearts racing, the thrill of winning. And it all happens right here. Twin Spires, from the team behind the Kentucky Derby and the destination for horse racing wagering from around the globe. From beginner to expert, Twin Spires is betting made fun and easy. We're offering up to $100 in bonus funds for new players, as well as daily offers and promotions for all our players. Twin Spires, racing into your home. Download the app now. See site for details. Void where prohibited. Please wager responsibly.
Since 1913, the Petaluma Creamery has believed that the best dairy products come from happy cows. It's why owner Larry Peter insists that every cow we milk is born and raised naturally to produce the finest non-GMO organic cheese and butter, like our delicious Spring Hill cheese, produced and shipped from here in California to anywhere you are. Visit springhillcheese.com and use promo code 10OFF to get $10 off your first order and enter to win free cheese for a year. Petaluma Creamery, the best dairy comes from the happiest cows.